I turned 91 this year, and as I sit by my window watching the world move faster than ever, I've come to realize something most people never tell you about getting old. It's not the things you did that hurt the most, it's the things you didn't. No one warned me about the quiet regrets that follow you into old age. They don't scream, they whisper, and yet they stay with you, louder than any noise. Today, I want to share 6 regrets I carry with me. The kind that wake you at 3 a.m., the kind that make you wonder, what if I'd done it differently? I'm not telling you this to make you feel sorry for me. I'm telling you so you don't make the same mistakes. Because there's still time, and some regrets are avoidable. Stay with me. Even if just one of these hits home, it could change the way you live the rest of your life. I used to think that growing old meant peace, long walks, grandkids' laughter, a warm blanket, and a good book. But no one warned me. That peace has a price, and if you're not careful, that price is regret. You don't see it coming. It creeps in slowly. First in the quiet moments, then when you lie awake, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself, why didn't I speak up? Why did I wait so long? Why did I assume there would be more time? I've made mistakes, and if you're between 60 and 80, chances are you might be making some of them too. Mistakes that feel harmless now, but years later, they sting. The first one? It's something I thought was noble, something people even praised me for. But it ended up being the loneliest decision of my life. Let me tell you what it was, and why you should never do it the way I did. Regret number 1. I put everyone else first, until there was nothing left of me. For most of my life, I put others first. I gave my time, my energy, my patience to my children, my spouse, my job, my church, my neighbors. I thought that was what a good person did, what a responsible adult, a loving parent, a decent human being should do. And don't get me wrong, caring for others can be beautiful. But no one told me that if you give everything of yourself away, one day you wake up and realize there's nothing left for you. I skipped hobbies, I skipped rest, I skipped dreams, always saying, I'll get to it later. But later never came, and now, at 91, I can barely remember the last time I did something just for me, without guilt, without rushing. You see, the world will applaud you for being selfless, but they won't be there when the silence gets too loud. That's the regret. I didn't protect my own joy. If you're watching this and constantly giving, constantly helping, constantly putting yourself last, let me tell you, don't wait until your body is tired and your soul is empty to learn that you matter too. Protect a little piece of your time, even 20 minutes a day, not for your spouse, not for your kids, for you, because if you don't, someday you'll sit where I am now and wonder why no one told you to take care of the caretaker. Regret number 2. I waited too long to say what mattered. There were things I should have said, words that lived inside me for years, and now they live nowhere. I thought I had time. I thought there would be another visit, another phone call, another moment to say, I forgive you. I was wrong. You mattered more than I ever said out loud. But time has a cruel way of running out when you're waiting for the perfect moment. My brother passed without hearing me say I was proud of him. My daughter got married and I never told her how brave I thought she was for starting a life so far from home. I kept love in my heart, but not in my voice. And now, no one hears it. That's the regret. I let silence steal moments that could have been healing. If you have someone you care about, tell them. Don't wait until the funeral. Don't wait until they move away. Don't wait for the right words. Just say something, because the pain of saying the wrong thing is nothing compared to the ache of saying nothing at all. I learned that too late, but you don't have to. Regret number 3. I didn't respect my body until it stopped listening. When I was younger, I treated my body like it would always bounce back. I ignored the warning signs, the stiffness in my knees, the shortness of breath, the little voice that said, "Slow down." But I didn't. There was always something more urgent: work, bills, errands, other people's needs. I skipped the checkups, laughed off the discomfort, and told myself, it's just part of getting older. But here's what no one tells you: your body doesn't yell, it whispers, and if you keep ignoring it, one day it stops talking and starts shutting down. I used to walk 5 miles with ease. Now I struggle to stand without pain, not because I aged, but because I waited too long to care. That's the regret. I didn't respect the one thing that carried me through every moment of my life until it was too late to thank it properly. If you're watching this, let me be blunt. Don't wait for a crisis to change. Listen to your body now. Stretch, move, rest, feed it real food. See the doctor, even if you feel fine, because the freedom to move, to walk, to breathe easily, you only realize how precious it is when it starts to slip away. And by then, all the "I'll do it next month" promises won't mean much. Regret number 4. I let fear make my choices and called it being practical. I had dreams, small ones, quiet ones, like learning to paint, or traveling to Italy, or even just starting a garden in my own backyard. I used to say, now's not the time. Maybe next year. Maybe when things settle down. But the truth is, it wasn't the timing. It was fear. Fear of looking foolish. Fear of spending money on myself. Fear of failing. And so I buried my wants under logic. I called it being realistic. I told myself I was being wise. But now I see the truth. I was just scared. That's the regret. I let fear wear a mask. And I obeyed it. I thought courage was only for the young. But you know what I've learned? Courage is not loud. It's quiet. It's the moment you book the trip, even if you go alone. It's signing up for that art class, even if you're the oldest one there. It's planting something, even if you'll never live to see it bloom. If you're waiting for a sign that it's finally the right time to do something you've always wanted, this is it. You're not too old. You're not too late. But the window is not open forever. Please, don't let fear write the last chapter of your life. It doesn't deserve the pen. Regret number 5. I let good people drift away and thought they'd always be there. I had friends once, real ones, the kind you laugh with until your stomach hurts, the kind you call after something big happens, good or bad. But over the years, I stopped calling. Life got busy. Schedules clashed. I told myself, I'll reach out next week. But next week became next year. And then, without warning, the number didn't work anymore, or the voice on the other end was gone. That's the regret. I let beautiful people fade into the background, thinking they'd always be just a phone call away. No fight, no falling out, just silence that stretched too long until it became permanent. And when I finally looked around, the room was quieter than I expected. If there's someone you miss, call them. Not a text, not a birthday card, a real voice, a real moment. Don't wait for someday. Someday is how people become strangers. Relationships don't vanish in explosions. They dissolve in quiet neglect. I learned that the hard way, and now I sit with too many empty chairs at my table, wondering what it would have felt like to fill them again, just one more time. Regret number 6. I focused on doing and forgot about simply being. I was always busy. Lists, tasks, goals. I prided myself on being productive, but no one told me. The quietest moments would be the ones I'd miss most. The way sunlight hit the kitchen table at 8 a.m., the feel of fresh sheets, the sound of birds outside the window. I rushed through it all, chasing something more. I'll rest when I retire. I'll slow down when the kids are grown. I'll enjoy life later. But later came and went, and now I have time, but not the same energy, not the same people, not the same me. That's the regret. I lived like life was a checklist, and I forgot that just sitting, breathing, holding someone's hand without saying a word was living too. So if your days are always loud, if your calendar is always full, if you measure your worth by what you accomplish, please pause. Not forever, just long enough to be. Because one day you'll want to remember what it felt like to sit in your own skin and simply exist. And if you don't practice that now, you might forget how. It's not too late to choose differently. These 6 regrets, they're mine, and I share them not for pity, but in hope that someone younger than me might listen. You see, aging teaches you one thing above all else: life doesn't slow down. You do. And when it does, all the noise fades. The titles, the tasks, the things you thought mattered so much. What's left are your choices, the people you loved or didn't love enough, the risks you took or were too afraid to take, the time you gave or kept locked away in calendars and to-do lists. But here's the good news. If you're watching this, you still have time. Time to call someone, time to start something, time to rest, time to live a little more gently and a little more truly. Don't aim for a perfect life. Aim for a life you won't regret looking back on. And if this video made you pause, even for a moment, then let that moment change something. Share this with someone you care about, or save it and come back to it when life starts running too fast again. I'm 91. I can't go back, but you can choose differently, and I hope you do.